Make use of the law and the latest on South Africa's performance at the London Olympics. Good afternoon, I'm Greg Hoos. President Jacob Zuma's urged women to use legislation to protect themselves against violence. He says the passing of the Domestic Violence Act was an important milestone. President Zuma says 349 prosecutors have been trained to implement the new Child Justice Act and 102 were trained in domestic violence legislation. Addressing a Women's Day event at the Union Buildings in Pretoria, Zuma said domestic violence has to be eradicated.
Women must be free to walk anywhere, day or night, without fearing attacks. The police stand ready to deal with such criminals. Government has also set up a task team to investigate the revival of sexual offences courts.
DA spokesperson Musi Maimane has called for the return of the Sexual Offences Court. Maimane and DA parliamentary leader Lindiwe Mazibuko addressed a Women's Day event in Katlehong on Gauteng's East Rand. He recalled the rape in March of a 16-year-old mentally disabled girl by a group of men.
When we prosecute criminals who commit such crimes against our ladies, stand up and make sure we have sexual offences courts that can defend the right of our women. Today we must stand up and send a strong message to our minister and say, for the protection and the safety of our women in this country, open the sexual offences court so that we can prosecute criminals who rape our girls.
Limpopo police have arrested an employee of a publishing house in connection with the dumping of books in Phalaborwa. Over 6,000 books were found dumped this week. It was the fifth batch to be found dumped in the province. Police say the man will appear in court tomorrow, facing a charge of malicious damage to property. The search for a paramedic who is presumed to have drowned in a flooded river near Montague in the Little Karoo is continuing. Yesterday, rescue teams found the ambulance she was driving after it was swept away by raging floodwaters on Tuesday. Chief of Ambulance Services in the Western Cape is Phumzile Papu.
We are going down the river and checking on the debris on each side of the river up to Eston. The weather is clear. The levels of the water have actually gone down a little bit. So we were able to go back again to where we sat yesterday to see if we could find anything. But unfortunately, up till now, we have not found anything.
Olympic gold medalist Cameron van den Berg says he's not unduly worried by reports that he cheated in the finals of the 100 metres breaststroke at the London Games. He's been accused by the Australian press of putting in more than the required one dolphin kick in a race, which he won in a new world record time. Organisers have since said they may resort to underwater cameras to monitor swimmers' kicks. Van den Berg, who arrived back in South Africa today, has dismissed accusations that he's a cheat.
Unfortunately, I've been a victim of some Australian press, and my record states throughout my whole swimming career, I've never been disqualified once, I've never been warned once. I have, from the heats to the semis to the final, there were 6 different judges that watched every start, every turn, every stroke, and I was clear.
Bridget Hartley's become the first South African woman to win a medal at the London Olympic Games. Hartley finished third in the women's kayak singles 500 metres race to win the bronze medal. Janet Witten reports.
After an impressive showing in the qualifiers, Hartley was always going to be in contention. But Danuta Kozak of Hungary and Ina Ospenska-Rozomska of Ukraine were fast out of the blocks, and the scrap was for third place, which Hartley grabbed. The men's 4x400 relay team crashed out of the heats when second runner Ofensa Magawane fell on the bend after a collision with a runner from Kenya. Magawane was taken from the field in a wheelchair with what appeared to be an injured shoulder. Oscar Pistorius had been scheduled to run third, so never got the chance to compete. Willem Koetzen has done well in the decathlon so far today and is looking for a top 10 finish there. Caster Semenya, Anasa Jobodwana and Sunette Viljoen are all in action tonight. Janet Witten, SABC News, London.
The top story, President Zuma's urged women to use legislation to protect themselves against violence.